Hey everybody, Lee Bishop here. Welcome back to Ghost Hunting 101. In this installment, we're going to be talking about EVP, or electronic voice phenomena. Now, this is a thing that happens whenever you're recording sound out in the field, and you're going to be hearing, when you play it back, voices that weren't there at the time. We strongly believe these to be the voices of spirit trying to communicate with us. This is probably something that's been around as long as people have been recording sound, being able to play it back. I'm sure people have noticed that sometimes there are voices on there that aren't accounted for, but we as paranormal investigators take this as a chance to have direct communication with those that have crossed over on the other side. And sometimes you're going to get residual ones. You're just going to hear sounds of things or voices that aren't connected to what's going on, but oftentimes you'll get intelligent responses, and those are the ones that really excite me, and why EVP is one of my favorite things to do in the field. It's my favorite kind of evidence to collect because, like I said, it's not just figuring out if something's there, as much as it is being able to communicate with it. And when you hear their voices coming across, it's a very, very powerful experience. At least it was for me the first time I heard one. But that being said, that's pretty much the that's the gist of what EVP recording is. Now, a little bit of word about the equipment. I use a digital recorder. These are available pretty much anywhere. You can get one. I prefer the ones that hook to your computer, so you can put them into a sound program to further analyze them. You can see a wave spectrograph of the sound waves and everything, so you can see when there's something there, when there shouldn't be. A lot of people, just like the debate between analog film and digital cameras, there was the debate for a while about whether these digital recorders would pick up EVPs as well as they would with the analog tape. There being the concept of the tape having the magnetic properties to it inherent in its design. But it seems to be now that it's not so much the recording medium that matters as it is the fact that it's the microphones picking up these voices that are in the white noise. So that being said, like I said, I prefer digital because I can, I buy one and I can use it until it quits working. I don't have to keep buying tapes for it, and I can record a lot more at a time. I mean, hours and hours and hours of audio to go over just from one recorder. So, like I said, that being said, I prefer digital, and it's really, really nice if you can connect them directly to your PC and not have to run a patch cable and record it with another program while it's playing, which pretty much doubles your evidence review time. Like I said, those are very easy to get a hold of. You can find them at big consumer stores or even on the internet, on auction sites. So some teams sell the ones they prefer on their websites. Where you get it's really up to you. Now, as far as techniques go, in the field, you're gonna want to do EVP, especially whenever you see other activity happening. Especially whenever you hear something, or if you hear a voice talking to you, and there's no one there. Of course, that's one time. But anytime there's EMF spikes, cold spots, anything like that, you want to start doing EVP. And it's a thing I like to do to try and. One of the first things I like to do when I'm going in cold to a location, when I'm first starting, is I like to roll and try to get some EVP going as a way to establish communication with the spirits that may be there. It's kind of a way to put yourself out there and really take an active proactive step in trying to establish communication. So that being said, I like to if I learn about the history of a place or learn about the activity that's happened there, reference that as a way to try and draw them in a little bit easier. You want to ask questions that are pertinent to what's been going on in the activity that's been going on in the location. But you might want to try to get names. I mean, the questions really, they're up to you. I mean, I'm just telling you what happened, what works best for me in my experience. But you want to make sure when you're asking questions that you and whoever else is with you is quiet and allows it time to respond. Now, that being said, you want to give spirits about 2 to 3 times the amount of time it would take a normal person to answer the question, because oftentimes it seems they have to gather the energy to be able to produce, to manifest their voice in a way that you can hear it. And it's said that they might even be screaming, but the recorder just picks it up as a harsh whisper, which is quality, very, very common to EVP, is you're going to get that whispery quality, where something might be saying, get out, instead of get out. That might be how they're screaming it, but it just picks it up as like this harsh harsh, quiet whisper, and they're also very faint. There's three classes of EVP. There's the Class A, Class B, and Class C EVPs. Class C are the ones that you really can't, maybe not even be able to decipher, but determine there is something trying to talk. It might have a rhythm of speech, but no enunciated. You can't determine any enunciated message. You can't decipher what it's saying. Class B are the ones that you can decipher after some work. You may be able to pick out one word at the beginning or the end and use that to figure out what they're trying to say. They stand out a lot more from the white noise, from the background, and they're a little bit more obvious if maybe a little quiet. Now, Class A EVPs are the ones that are unmistakable. They stick out. When you're listening to it, it jumps out at you. You hear it very plainly, and they're very, very easy to decipher to the point where you get it in the first pass. And they're the ones you really don't have to dig out quite as much out of the background noise, where with noise filters and amplification and bass boosting and all that sort of thing. And those are the ones that they're really the most impressive. Because, like I said, they tend to be very clear, very defined, and usually those are the ones you're going to get that are intelligent, are the Class A EVPs. So, like I said, when you're working in the field, you're going to want to be very conscious of what you're doing while you're recording sound, and that's where we're going to get into what's called tagging your audio. Tagging your audio is something very, very important. You want to make sure anytime you cough, you sigh, you breathe too heavily, you're shuffling your feet, anything like that, you're going to want to mention that on the recording. If you do it, you're going to say, that was me coughing, or, if you bump something with your foot, hey, that was me, I did that. So when you're listening to it later, you're not going to mistake those noises that you might not remember doing while you were in the field, because maybe a lot of things were happening, or just one little thing in the long stretch of time you're in a location in the dark. You might not remember it and mistake it for something paranormal. So you want to be very careful about that. It's a very good practice to get into on the audio recording side of things, is making sure to tag all your evidence. Anything that happens, you want to tag it so you can account for it. So when something happens and it's not tagged, that's going to stick out a lot better, and that your methods are going to hold that better to scrutiny if you want to present your evidence to the public. Like I said, be very conscious of that, and also try to make it a habit. Get into habits early, and they'll stick with you for your entire career in the field. A little bit. I'm going to go a little bit, just slightly into base evidence analysis for sound recordings too. I'm not going to go too deep into it in this video. I'm going to give that its own video down the road. But let's say after you're done with your investigation and you're packing up or whatever, you get home and you start listening to these recordings. You can listen to them straight off the recorder. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But like I said, I prefer to be able to put it into a program that will let me be able to see the sound graph, and if I would need to pause it, go back and see exactly where I'm going, how far I need to go back, and I can just grab it with the mouse, drag it back, and I can select a section. I can remove the background noise, ambient noise from it. I can amplify it. I can bass boost it. These kind of things that help really pull the EVP out of the background noise if it's a Class B or Class C, and it just cleans it up, makes it a lot easier to understand what they're trying to tell you. And I usually I use a program that I can use to cut these selections out, so I can present them to clients, and I don't have to sit there and pull up every sound file for the night. I can just show them where they were cut. Another thing you want to do during analysis is do a log sheet of your EVPs. You want to take each file, go through it. Don't skip through it. Let it play the whole way through. Don't hurry it along. You have to go through the evidence, every second of it. And you're going to want to keep a log sheet for, I usually do my file name, and anytime I find an anomaly, I put down the time code that it happens at. I put down what I think it's saying and whether it seems to be a Class A, B, or C EVP. And I take that to, once the evidence review is complete, I have everybody else who was on the investigation. We put more ears on it, go over and try to come to an agreement about what it's saying if it's not blatantly obvious. And that helps too when you have another set of ears on it, because sometimes you'll go through this audio, you'll be listening to, anywhere from 6 to 12 hours of audio recordings, and after a while it just, it's like your brain just does not want to try and process it anymore. So it's good to have extra people to help you go over it. So it's really a team effort when it comes to analysis. Like I said, keep good records. Keep your log sheets very clean, very organized, as much detail as you can get. Especially with locations, dates, time codes, on the files that you use, that you're going over, and like I said, it's just a good habit to get into with that kind of thing. So that being said, I hope you all liked the video. I hope you guys learned something from it, and like I said, I hope people are starting to go out in the field and use what I'm teaching them to trying to teach you guys to go out and find your own have your own adventures out in the field and help people. So please subscribe to the channel, like and favorite the video. It really helps. Share it around. Please post it on your Facebook, wherever, message boards, and I also want to give a big shout out to my friends at /X. You guys have really been great, helping me out, showing a lot of support, and I want to thank you all for all the kind words and all the views and the support you guys have given me when I'm starting this thing, and I hope we can really take it to the next level. So thanks guys, I appreciate it, and we'll be back probably in a week with another video.